Welcome to our YouTube channel. Remember to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share this video with everyone you know. If you want to buy a book with OET speaking tasks directly from Amazon, click on the first link in the description of this video.
Hello there. Welcome to our health center. It's wonderful to have you here today. My name is Dr. Smith, and I'll be taking care of you and your little one during this visit. Before we get started, may I please confirm your name? I want to make sure that I address you properly throughout our conversation.
You can call me Susan.
Thank you, Susan. It's a pleasure to meet you. I see from my notes that you've scheduled this appointment for your 4-year-old child, which is very thoughtful of you. May I confirm her name so that I have everything correct on my end?
Her name is Mary.
Thank you for that confirmation, Susan. It's always important to ensure we have all the details right from the start. So, let's talk about Mary. I understand that something has been concerning you about her health, and I'm here to help. Could you please tell me a bit more about what has been happening with Mary that prompted you to bring her in today?
Well, doctor, she's been dealing with this really itchy skin for the past 4 days. The itchiness seems to be mostly on her legs, especially behind her knees. It's not the first time this has happened, but this time it's been going on much longer than usual. Because of it, she hasn't been sleeping well and she's been quite moody, which is very unlike her.
I'm truly sorry to hear that Mary has been going through this, Susan. It must be very difficult for both her and you to see her uncomfortable like this. Please know that you're in the right place, and I'm here to help you both find relief. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a few more questions to gain a better understanding of what might be causing these symptoms. Would that be all right with you?
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate your willingness to provide more information. You mentioned that this isn't the first time Mary has experienced this type of itchiness. Could you tell me a little more about the previous instances? For example, how often does it occur? And are there any specific times of the year or situations when it tends to happen?
Certainly, doctor. This itchy skin tends to come and go, usually during the warmer days of summer. It seems to flare up when the weather is hot, but it typically only lasts for a day or two, and then it goes away on its own. This time, though, it's been lingering for 4 days, which is much longer than what we've seen before.
I understand, Susan. It's interesting that you've noticed a pattern related to the warmer weather. This kind of observation can be very helpful in identifying what might be contributing to Mary's symptoms. Now, you mentioned that this current episode started about 4 days ago. Could you tell me if there was anything specific that happened around that time, such as changes in her routine, activities, or even something she might have come into contact with?
Well, the only thing different that I can think of is that about 5 days ago, Mary was playing with her friends in the swimming pool. They were in the water for quite a while, and it was a hot day. But other than that, nothing else stands out.
Thank you for sharing that, Susan. It's good to know about the swimming pool, as water exposure, especially in chlorinated pools, can sometimes affect the skin, particularly if someone has sensitive skin. Now, just to cover all our bases, does Mary have any known allergies, whether they're food-related, environmental, or anything else you might be aware of?
Not that I know of, doctor. We haven't noticed any allergic reactions to foods, and she's never had any tests done to check for environmental allergies.
I see. Thank you for providing that information, Susan. It's helpful to rule out known allergies as we consider what might be going on with Mary. Based on the symptoms you've described and my physical examination, my initial diagnosis is that Mary might be dealing with a condition called eczema. Have you ever heard of eczema before, or is this something new for you?
Not really, doctor. I'm not very familiar with eczema.
That's completely understandable, Susan. Eczema is a skin condition that is quite common in children, so you're definitely not alone in this. Essentially, eczema is a form of dermatitis, which means inflammation of the skin. It often presents as dry, itchy patches, and it can be triggered by various factors, including weather changes, irritants, like certain soaps or fabrics, and sometimes even stress. The good news is that, while it can be uncomfortable, eczema is not a serious condition, and many children eventually outgrow it as they get older.
That's a relief to hear, doctor. But is there any treatment for it? I really want to help Mary feel better as soon as possible.
Absolutely, Susan. There are several effective treatments available that can help manage the symptoms and provide relief for Mary. The first step I would recommend is to order a couple of tests, a skin test and a blood test, to confirm the diagnosis and rule out any underlying causes that we might need to address. However, we can begin the initial treatment even before we get the test results back. I would suggest starting with a topical ointment that you'll apply to the areas where her skin is most itchy. This ointment will help soothe the inflammation and reduce the itching. Additionally, it's important to keep Mary's fingernails short to minimize the risk of scratching, which can make the skin irritation worse. Once the tests confirm that this is indeed eczema, I can prescribe antihistamines to further help with the itching and discomfort. Does that make sense so far?
Yes, it does, doctor. Thank you for explaining it so clearly.
I'm glad it's clear, Susan. I know it can be a lot to take in, but I want you to feel confident in the steps we're taking to help Mary. You mentioned earlier that Mary has been moody and having difficulty sleeping, which is entirely understandable given how uncomfortable she must be feeling. I want to reassure you that both her sleep and her mood should improve significantly once we start the treatment. The antihistamines, in particular, can help with both the itching and promoting better sleep, so she can start feeling more like herself again. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss, or any questions you have about the treatment or the condition itself?
No, I think that covers everything for now. Thank you, doctor.
You're very welcome, Susan. I'm glad we could talk through everything. I'm going to go ahead and order both the skin test and the blood test, and my secretary will arrange for Mary's follow-up appointment next week, when we should have the results ready. In the meantime, I'll give you my contact information. So, if you have any questions or concerns at all, whether it's about the treatment or anything else related to Mary's health, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to support you and Mary through this process.
Thank you so much, doctor. I really appreciate all your help and the time you've taken to explain everything.
It's truly my pleasure, Susan. I'm here to make sure that you and Mary feel well cared for. Please take care, and I'll see you both next week for the follow-up. Have a great day.
Thank you, doctor. We'll see you next week. Thank you very much for watching our video. Remember to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share this video with all your friends and coworkers. Have a great day, and I will see you in our next video.